We're back for our second round tonight. This is still Matt.
This is still Katie. I was trying to remember, was it two for, we'll be back in two? Was it Chuck Woolery?
Yeah.
Did the 2 and 2? That's what I was trying to do. So this is our second movie tonight. We figured we wanted to dive in since we're starting this over again. Welcome back to the channel. If you're one of our regular subscribers, thank you for sticking around. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hi. Katie and I are a married couple who love watching movies, and then we love talking about those movies. And we're going to talk about those movies with you. We just watched Late Night with the Devil. This is a movie that's been on my radar for some time. I've been waiting to watch it with Katie, and I'm glad I did. I'm going to let Katie go ahead and kick this off. What did you think of it, my love?
The premise of it is that it's a late night talk show host. Ratings are going down in like the 5th year, very concerned, and it's a pseudo found footage. We see the live show that aired, and we also see some backstage stuff. I thought it was really excellently done. What happens with nearly all horror movies, the very end of it was a little muddled for me. It felt like, again, a problem with a lot of them. It could have ended before it did, because I think if it had ended before they ended it, it would have made perfect sense. And I think that I understand what they were trying to do at the very end, but the rest of the movie was done in a far superior way than the very end was. But I would still absolutely recommend it. It was extremely well done. Very well done. What did you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was... It's exactly what I wanted it to be. There was, I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was Ghostwatch, which was kind of the same thing, which was done in the UK. And they did this whole thing where there was, a haunted house and they were inspecting it, and then stuff was going on in the studio. That one was done in a way where people actually thought there was something going on in the studio. And I liked how they really did base it in reality, Gandalf. They really did base it in reality, because
Gandalf is the cat.
I can't remember her name, but it was in the late 70s when that whole satanic panic started to happen. And there was an actual book written, and a psychiatrist and a young girl who had been raised in one of these satanic cults. So I really liked the way they kind of did that to put you in the story. And I liked I liked seeing what was going on, like we were actually watching the show, but then seeing what was happening behind the scenes. And I will say this, they were playing some camera tricks in there. When I first saw one, I wasn't sure if I actually saw it, and I had to ask Katie, and we had to back it up, and then we both saw it. And from that point on, I was looking and noticing little things in the background.
They're very subtle and they're very fast.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed this one. I get what you're saying. There is a point where they should have ended it, and I think if they had ended it right there, it would have been fine. But I didn't have as much a problem as you probably had.
It didn't ruin the movie for me.
No.
It wasn't Hereditary where the ending ruined the entire movie for me.
Yeah.
It was just, I just felt like, okay, I'm with you fully, and now you've just gone where I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? It wasn't awful. It just was a little jarring.
It's like you said, it happens in horror all the time. They take it too far, or they drag it along longer than it has to be.
There were brilliant things about this, though. There was only one thing that bothered me, really, and it was a casting choice. His kind of producer, I guess, looks like the love child of Kevin Spacey and Danny Masterson.
I didn't get that.
Well, it was just a costuming and hair choice, and he was the only one who felt I'm acting. Everybody else felt very
I'll give you
genuine.
that. Okay.
And every time he walked on, I was just like, okay, this guy's.
Yeah.
But they did. If you look at the difference between talk show hosts, because they talk about Johnny Carson. So if you look at the difference between the era of talk show hosts when Johnny Carson was huge and today's talk show host, it's a completely different delivery, vibe, and they had that down.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
You did genuinely, in the parts where you were just watching what the live show was, it did just feel like you were just watching the talk show. It was really, really well done.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was really impressed. I thought this was really well done. Some of the makeup effects were a little cheesy, but it fit.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't cheesy in a way like, oh, well, I'm completely out of it.
Yeah.
But it was cheesy in a way that I liked.
And I didn't have any problem with any of them except it involves a chair. That's all I'm going to say. There was a moment there that I just felt like exactly that it looked like.
You talking about the initial, when we first meet?
No, during the live show when it's there is a parapsychologist and a little girl that she has been with for 3 years now, that the little girl was rescued from one of these kind of places. And the parapsychologist is sort of raising her at the same time that she's her doctor, which is horribly unethical, but whatever. There's a moment when it's just the two of them together during the show and a thing happens there with a chair. Those effects felt really community theater level.
You have to tell me
effects.
after. I don't know which part you're talking about.
But as far as the makeup effects and that, I didn't have any problem with any of it. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, no, the makeup effects were fine. I thought some of when they're setting up the story, I liked the way they set up the whole satanic panic thing, because that guy even kind of looked like, there's a couple documentaries you can find on YouTube about it, and there was an actual dude who ran the satanic temple, and this guy kind of looked like it. And I liked those documentary kind of parts, and they did a really good job of setting this up. And the other thing I really liked about it, none of it felt rushed, which is something you get sometimes especially with indie horror. They tend to rush the beginning of the movie to throw you into whatever the situation was. This one, they didn't do that.
It was brilliantly set up. It's one of the best kind of versions of found footage that I've ever seen, because they didn't. It made perfect sense. The things that you were seeing on video, that you would be seeing that on video, because much of it is the show. You don't get a ton of backstage, but enough, and it makes sense that there would have been someone filming them.
Yeah. Yeah, but and that's the weird thing is I didn't think, like my brain didn't go there like, oh, there's somebody backstage filming all this. I was just like, oh, okay, this is where they're putting in the exposition. This is where we're getting everything else. Right. So those, what are they called? Vignettes? Those little, those little vignettes were.
But they tell you at the beginning. They set it up to say, this thing happened on Halloween in 1977, and what you're going to see is the full show and backstage. So you knew going in what you were going to get. Yeah. So it all made perfect sense. It was just really, really, really well done.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to end up adding it to my collection. I can guarantee I'll get the Blu-ray or DVD of this, because I'd love to see some of the making of. And I can never remember his name, the lead guy.
And he always kind of freaks me out a
little
bit. He's like,
who's that guy, Dane DeHaan, who looks weird, and he always plays weird kind of characters.
He does always kind of play weird characters. I was really glad to see him in this, because he was
really good.
Grounded and normal, and it was nice, because he is one of those actors that as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh, what is this weird thing going to be? So that was really, I just really enjoyed it.
This was a good one.
A far superior movie to our first attempt tonight.
Yeah, it's for those of you interested, it's if you have a Shudder subscription, it's streaming for free via Shudder. Otherwise, it's available for rent, the normal rent. Be careful, kitty. No.
Come here, kitty cat.
So yeah, that's I don't know if I really have a final thought on this one. I'll tell you what. My final thought on this one is, if you're ever presented with something that you don't fully believe, right? If someone comes to you with this idea that you just think is ridiculous, don't be a dick. Okay? Just go along with it. Say, okay, yeah, well, not my thing, but whatever. Just don't be a dick. That's my final thought. What's your final thought?
Mine would be similar. Mine would be, don't completely shut yourself off to something outside your experience. That you can be skeptical, you can refuse to accept it yourself, but don't shut yourself off completely. And other people's belief systems are just as valuable to them as yours are to you. So don't be a dick.
If you're a dick, there might be some bad things happening to you. So there you go. Late Night with the Devil. Katie and I really enjoyed it. Definitely a fun Halloween sleepover kind of movie if you do that kind of thing. Other than that, please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when we post. If you've seen Late Night with the Devil, let us know what you thought. If you didn't like us, tell us why. It's not going to change our idea about it, but we do love to get into a good discussion. And if you saw anything, we really
like the comments. And we will reply, I promise.
Yeah, I might not, but she will. She always replies. And if you, like us, if you saw any of those little things in the like tricks of the camera or whatever in the background that we might have missed, let us know, because I saw at least 2 or 3. And I'm sure there's more in there. So there you go. That's it. Late Night with the Devil. Right now, Katie and I are probably going to get some sleep. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.